Hello, listeners. This podcast welcomes you to the Conspiracy Theory Life. What is true and what isn't? To start off, episode 1, we are going to talk about the fantastic Princess Diana. I am your host, Sammy Nielsen, and your two debaters for this episode will be Bridget Bria and Margaret Merson. Now, you may be familiar with the tragic story of Princess Diana, but do we know what really happened? Today, we will discuss the mysteries and myths surrounding Princess Diana's death with our two debaters, Bridget and Margaret. Now let's talk about what we know. On August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, died within a high-speed car crash in the Pont d'Alma tunnel in Paris while being followed by paparazzi. Diana was driving in a Mercedes driven by Henry Paul. Her driver was later found to be intoxicated, so Diana died later in the hospital in Paris from her injury. Diana was loved by everyone. She did charity work and made so many connections from her life. But rumor has it, Princess Diana's death was planned. I'm Bridget Bria, and let's talk about the rumors. People thought that it was suspicious that the driver was speeding so fast, and that she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Questions also come up, such as, why were there so many paparazzi in the first place? People also thought that the royal family was behind the incident due to their disapproval of her. She had recently divorced Prince Charles and started dating Debriefed. Although she was not technically Her Royal Highness, her image still mattered to the royal family. The royal family disapproved of her relationship with Debriefed because he did not fit the royal image. I also think that it's because she was seen as a threat to the royal monarchy. Although she wasn't actively trying to overthrow the government, due to her huge amount of public power and influence, she had a big influence on the image of the royal government. She also spoke about royal family problems publicly. In an interview with BBC, she once referenced the affair that Prince Charles had in their marriage. Due to all of these reasons, it's not too far off to believe that the royal family had something to do with the tragic death of Princess Diana.
Those might be the rumors, but I have the facts.
First, let's talk about how the driver, Henry Paul, was found to be intoxicated after the crash. That, plus a 60-mile-per-hour drive through a tunnel at night being chased by the paparazzi, would obviously lead to something bad happening. And there are many speculations about the disapproval of the relationship between Diana and Dodi, but many of those claims came from Dodi's father, who felt that their relationship wasn't approved by the rest of Diana's family, which is completely biased and doesn't help the case. People say the paparazzi were there as a plan by the royal family, but in reality, it was just the paparazzi chasing Diana, and they were later arrested and investigated. Alright guys, now that you've heard both Margaret and Bridget's side of the story, first think in your head, what do you think really happened? Has this changed your mind? What do you think happened? Alright guys, now that we have heard from both Margaret and Bridget's side, Bridget thinking this conspiracy theory is true and Margaret trying to debunk the conspiracy theory, I personally am still in between. I don't know who to believe, so do you guys have anything else to say? Bridget?
Yes, I am still sticking with my first initial thought that the conspiracy theory is some sort of... To further my stance, in an interview with Dodi's father, he talks about how Diana was pregnant, and if this were true, her being pregnant would really be bad. It would be a bad look for the royal family. That's a very good piece of it. Because if she's pregnant, the royal family does not want to encourage pregnancy without marriage because the whole royal family goes along with
Bridget, to disprove your rumor
You just agreed with me.
Diana being pregnant,
You just agreed with me that it would be weird.
I agreed that the royal family may think that way, but they did an autopsy on her body, and she was found to not be pregnant. So those are all speculations.
That doesn't disregard all the other things that Diana did to be under.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bridget and Margaret. Honestly. Yeah, thank you. You both made this episode great. And now that we have dissected each and every part of this case, the question is, was her death planned? Now, me personally, I think as the host, my two debaters have given me two good sides. But I'm going to have to go to the side of Margaret. I think that this death was just a freak accident. I tried to stick. Now that this episode is over, we would like you guys, our listeners, to go on our Instagram, put a poll, and let's see what you guys really think happened to Princess Diana. Was her death staged, or was it just an accident? Next episode, we will give the results to what our listeners think really happened. Thank you guys so much for this episode.
Thank you.
It was great.
Tune in next episode. We've got a crazy conspiracy theory that we think that all you guys are gonna be so excited.
Yeah.